And a good Wednesday, everybody. Welcome in, Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. We are live today in Old Hickory, Tennessee at Nash Dogs. We've been here getting ready for the show for about an hour, and it is fantastic. We've already eaten a couple of hot dogs. We're not ashamed to say that. They are fantastic. So come by and see us. We're here until 3 o'clock today. They're right here off of what is that, Old Hickory Boulevard? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So,
right next to the Piggly Wiggly out here
Yep.
in Old Hickory.
Yeah, so come by and say hello, and we're excited to be here. Their owner, Michael, going to join us here in a little bit and tell us more about it and why he had this dream, but it's awesome.
It is, and it's right next to the Piggly Wiggly, Old Hickory Boulevard out here in Old Hickory. And so this is cool, man. This place like this makes Nashville thrive. So it's been a nice little gathering of people today coming in and out. So we have a lot of fun, and we might make it till 3 if they keeps bringing the more food out. Might just call it quits about 2 and just go eat. But yeah, thank you, Michael. Nash Dogs.
Yes.
Great follow on Instagram too. All the food and everything. Oh my goodness, really good.
Yeah. So he showed us the picture earlier that I guess he had Chat GPT make up a post for him. And the picture it used for us was looks better than us.
It looks way out. I told him, I was like, I'd go see those two guys. You and me, now pass. But the two guys that Chat GPT showed up and put on the post, yeah, I'd go see those guys.
Oh, it's fantastic.
My goodness.
Absolutely fantastic. So the international games are out for the NFL, and to no surprise, the Titans will not play internationally this year. The NFL does not want to subject our friends across the world to that. So
why exactly? Right?
At least not yet. Maybe they're going to be better, but I totally get it. So this is what the full international slate of games, times to be announced, include. Week 1, 49ers at Rams in Melbourne, Australia. Week 3, Ravens Cowboys in Rio. Week 4, Colts Commanders in London. The next few are in London. Week 5, Eagles Jags in London. Week 6, Texans Jags in London. Week 7, Steelers Saints in Paris. Week 9, Bengals Falcons in Madrid. Week 10, Patriots and Lions at Munich, and I am told they will leave Mike Vrabel in Germany after that. Week 11, Vikings 49ers in Mexico City.
All right. Well, there you have the international games. I mean, do y'all really think Titans are going to get an international game? Crazy.
No. So let me
no way.
I need to check my Titans schedule that I made yesterday that is fantastic, and let me see if this messes anything up.
So all the international games are all out, and a few of the early games, primetime games are out. So let me ask you this while you're looking your schedule up. All right.
Yep.
Teams already know the schedule.
Yeah, I would think so.
You would think so, because how do you make a video of a schedule release if you don't know the schedule?
True.
I bet they've known it for 2 weeks.
They're not doing that today.
No, it'll go out tomorrow.
Yeah. So
every team has known who they're playing for, I'd say at least 3 weeks.
Yeah, probably.
So that gives your social media teams time to go out and make some cute video again and all that.
Yeah, I would say I bet they got it last week. Based on some knowledge I once had, I would say they probably got it last week.
Okay. And probably had to have a plan in place to shoot your video and put it out there, and everybody's going to reveal it when it comes out tomorrow.
Because here's the thing, the opponents. So there are certain things you could do in the video, that then you go and you edit and you put when it is, but you knew the opponents.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's granted, but you don't know the time and the date, and they have the time and the date that gets released. So all these social media teams, it's their time. The one
the Titans did last year was fantastic.
I don't remember what that was.
It was I think it was the one they're going through like Tootsies and.
Oh, that was.
Or was that 2 years?
2 years ago, yeah. And the 3 years ago was the best one ever.
The going on the street, like, do you know the opponents?
Yeah, yeah. And what wannabe comedian got mad at the Titans that he stole his idea?
Oh, I don't remember.
And we were all like, dude, everybody does Man on the Street on Broadway. I've done 1,000 of them down there. I didn't complain. Like, oh, they stole my idea. Titans just executed it perfectly for that schedule release.
615-737-1025 is our phone and text line, driven But WilsonCountyHyundai.com 4312 says, thank God no foreign games. NFL is such a bunch of money-hungry turds pushing this overseas crap.
I would concur with that.
Yeah, I mean.
But they don't care as long as they can fill that stadium, and they're going to bring the biggest, and I get it, bring the biggest stars over. Who are the Falcons playing again over there? How'd the Falcons get a game?
They're playing the Bengals. Bengals, Falcons, in Madrid.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, I get it, the Burrow factor. I mean, he's all that, but I just don't. I mean, you can't. There's what NFL's got. What 6, maybe 8 elite teams, maybe a quarter of the league's elite. You can't send them everywhere, so I understand that. But sorry, Madrid, we'll try to do better and get you a better team in the future.
But I mean, this is what you're going to get now. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're going to have about this amount of international games every year, and it's once they add the 18th game,
right?
Everybody will play one.
You had a good question to John yesterday. I completely disagree with John McClain about Toronto getting an NFL team.
No, I don't think they will. I don't think Mexico will either.
Buffalo will complain, and Buffalo has every right to complain because they're 2 hours with each other.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people, when I've been told, that come down from Canada to catch a Bills game. And now if you got a team in Toronto, you're going to lose most of that to go up to a game in Toronto. And so
Buffalo will fight that. And I think the players would fight Mexico.
Yes.
So, I mean,
you talk about you got to live there, right? I mean, that's the thing.
Right.
I mean, most of these guys want to live close to, the facility in some place that you can hop a flight and be home in no time at all. And I think being there would not be – it'd want to be home.
I think what they would have to do
in America
is, like the same with London, is they would probably have a facility in New York or something, and everybody would live there and then fly to London for 2 weeks at a time.
Oh my gosh, this is so complicated.
The same would go. I think the same would go for Mexico City.
So
I mean, look, I'm being real. I mean, we know stuff happens, and I think the players would be like, hell no, I'm not living down there.
Yeah. So I mean, have a base like in Houston.
Yeah.
Or San Antonio and fly down. Okay, I can see that.
Which, in that case, just put a team in San Antonio.
That'll never happen. I wouldn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Everybody in San Antonio loves the Cowboys.
Right, I know. I mean, but you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to expand, go to cities within the United States that make sense. I wouldn't go back to St. Louis. You've tried that twice.
Right.
But San Diego, I could make an argument maybe gets another shot at it, but I think that would be the Chargers. I think the Chargers would just move back.
Yeah, it depends how big along the lease they signed with SoFi. I don't know.
The Rams control it, and I think if Spanos went to Kroenke and said, "Hey, we want to go back to San Diego," see you, we'll help you pack.
Right. Nobody cares about the Chargers in LA. Hell,
no.
I've told people don't care about the Rams out there either.
Yeah, so
that's the thing. I don't know. Maybe Salt Lake City, maybe Portland. I don't know. I mean,
I think Salt Lake City is interesting.
You tell me. I know y'all laugh at me, but a place like Des Moines, Iowa, right?
Yeah,
they'd go to every Sunday to a game.
Yeah.
They'd 75,000 in a stadium there.
Well, you said Birmingham.
I think Birmingham
will
absolutely work. But Atlanta will gripe. New Orleans will gripe. Nashville will gripe. It won't happen.
Yeah.
Won't happen over there.
Sacramento's interesting. Somebody here just
said. San Francisco will complain about that.
Well, still, I mean, they can complain, but
no, they're going to see where you're the only entity around.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Des Moines, they'll never, the TV market, they're in the 50s or 60s. That'll never happen. But I don't know. It's just
Canada is interesting. I don't know, does Montreal care?
Probably not. Probably not. But the product in NFL, is so bad. Right? Half the teams are awful. You're going to have 2 more awful teams. Like baseball, you had 2 more awful. The product in baseball is terrible. The product NBA is terrible. Don't add more teams. Then you're just adding it for pure monetary reasons. I think that's terrible.
What is our question of the day?
All right, so summer's happening and things are going out, so more kids are, turning 15 and 16, summertime. The question is, who, 615-737-1025, I want to know, who taught you how to drive? Was it a parent? Was it a grandparent? Was it a brother, sister? It doesn't matter. Who taught you how to drive and where? And my brother taught me how to drive on a 5-speed on a truck. And I had to shift. It was the clutch. I learned, I mean, he would put me on the interstate and say, drive. I'm like, I can't do this. I had no license, so it was illegal. I was 14, 15 years old. But I became the best stick shift driver in America. And I mean, he would yell at me, he would scream at me, but I became a fantastic driver because of my brother. And it was frustrating at times. We'd park on a hill, say, all right, take over, and the truck would roll back. And he's like, you got to figure this out. But I learned how to drive because of my brother. So the question is, who taught you how to drive? Where was it? And how frustrating was it as well? Now, who taught you how to drive?
It was kind of a collective, but mainly my dad and grandfather. It's funny. I joke. You've probably seen me park, and it's not the best.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, my grandfather taught me how to park, and he was not the best parker. But
like, that'd be fine.
Dad taught me how to parallel park, and I can kind of do that. But yeah, it was mainly them. But I mean, like once I turned 15 and got my permit, like I always drove. So like my mom would make me drive to school.
Right. So was it frustrating with your dad and grandpa?
Yes.
Okay.
More so, I don't know if it was like they weren't yelling. My dad had a great, like the first time I drove with my dad, I was so nervous because like this is dad, you know?
Right. How old were you?
I was 15.
Okay.
We pull up to a stop sign. It was a 4-way stop. And I'm just sitting there, and he kind of looks at me and goes, "You waiting on that stop sign to turn green?"
Did you cry any of this? He was yelling at you? I would have.
No. He was great. He was fine.
Dr. Crane, who taught you how to drive?
If I can remember correctly, I think it was my mom in an actual
What do you mean?
car on the road.
10 years ago.
Nah, trust me.
Last
Joe.
week.
I believe it was my mom, funny enough. But if I don't count the actual car, we go back in time a little bit. I'd say around 5 or 6 years old, I started to learn how to drive from a Yerf Dog go-kart, which is the fat tires in the back, small tires in the front. And, so my brother and I would race around the neighborhood with that. He'd have a mini bike. I'd have the go-kart, and we'd just drive around that way. So I learned how to drive that way if we go way back in time. But behind an actual legalized car, that would be my mom back, I think, like 16 years old.
She'd take you on like a back road, parking lot?
No, I think we went down
I
Church
did drive
Street.
in a parking lot a few times.
And, we did maybe a parking lot or two, but that was – it didn't go much. I actually milked the whole driving situation because playing football, I was like, I don't have anywhere to be. So I didn't get my license until I was like 17, I think.
How did you get to school, like as a junior at Ryan?
Oh, no, I drove when I was a junior. No. Freshman and sophomore year, I was dropped off or I carpooled with somebody.
Poor
but
guy.
Junior and senior year, I drove.
I think I learned, my brother with the Deloitte and Touche parking lot in Hermitage is massive. So on the weekends we'd go over there and there's a few hills and that's kind of where we started. He's like, all right, now we're going to the interstate. I'm like, no, we're not. Mom, come get me. He's like, no, we're not. You're going and do this. So parking lots, parents not yelling at you. Because I got behind a student driver today and it said, the back of the thing said, student driver, please don't honk. And I was like, oh, man. So now you don't want to honk. And now you feel bad.
No, but that's when you said this is what's wrong with today's. I mean, you got to learn, man.
Right? Yeah.
Like if you do something that's worthy of getting honked at. Then
sure. Exactly. Yeah. You don't flip them off. But I was like, oh, man.
Like the other day, we're going to pick my mom up for Mother's Day. And right there at where 440 splits off of 40 White Bridge Road on the west side. And I'm at West Side. And so we're cruising along, and there is a lady that has rented like one of those giant trucks from Home Depot.
Oh, no.
She just starts coming over, doesn't see me.
Let her hit you. You could sue her and Home Depot.
I know. I should have, but we were late. So I had to get there.
It happened yesterday when Chase and I were in traffic on the interstate.
Yeah.
Somebody was about to just turn me over. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yep. That's life these days. 615-737-1025. Again, we're live at Nash Dogs today. It is at 1427 Robinson Road here in Old Hickory. Now serving at the Old Hickory Cafe. Plus, they have catering, corporate events, and food truck bookings. Find out more. Just go to nashdogs.com. This place is awesome. We're going to tell you more about it as we go along today. It's Chasing Big Joe on a Wednesday. 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Wednesday. We told you we're at Nash Dogs today, 1427 Robinson Road. It's right here in Old Hickory, Tennessee. They have just opened this cafe back in November and have catering, corporate events, food truck bookings. You can find all that information at nashdogs.com. And the owner, Michael Spencer, is here with us now. Thanks for having us. The food's fantastic. The atmosphere is fantastic. And you were just telling us a little bit about your journey, that it started out in that parking lot selling hot dogs, and now you got the cafe.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very grateful for y'all having me on today. Thank you so much. It means a lot. But yeah, opened back in November, and it's been quite the journey. I actually started out here in the parking lot and sat out there for about a year. Got a lot of really great support from the Old Hickory Village community, and over the years been able to kind of position myself to be able to open up a cafe. It's been quite the journey to get here.
You have one over in Opry Mills.
Opry Mills, yep, we've had that there since 2022, and it really kind of helped me get a better idea of how to run a physical location, and a lot of that kind of applied into the cafe.
So what did you wake up one day and decide this is what you wanted to do? Kind of how did this all come about?
So I actually used to work for a big box retail store and was just super happy with kind of like my time freedom and the ability to be with my family. I actually was supposed to be going to a baseball game, and I had requested off for it a couple of weeks in advance. And on the day of my son's baseball game, they tried to call me into work, and I wasn't going to go, So they were like, we're going to write you up. And I was like, well, I'm not in 5th grade. So anyways, that was just kind of really a big pivotal point that kind of made me think I need to do something on my own. So started pursuing other options. I met a guy, it was called Dog Craze. It was a food truck. And he told me how much he was going to charge. $2,000 in 3 hours is what he was going to make. And at that time I was making probably like $1,000 a week.
Yeah.
So anyways, researched hot dogs, found Angus beef, very high quality dog, and started selling on the side of the road. First day made $500 and kind of made sense from there. So just got started and have done it every day since.
First day, $500. I'm gonna go get me a hot dog stand and start today.
What are we doing?
All right,
Nick, this is your show now.
That's great, man. A great chef told me one time, we're with Michael Spencer, the owner of Nash Dogs, and she said, the first thing we do is we eat with our eyes, right? I see your board up here. It's colorized. It's beautiful. It looks just like the food that comes out. How important was that to make sure everything looks like that?
I mean, just like what you said, everybody kind of eats with their eyes first, so the aesthetic is really important. I've got to give my wife the credit for coming up with the menu, as well as some customers as well. But just wanted to make something aesthetic and something that people were going to want to actually come in and eat and enjoy. It's really a big deal that the food actually looks the way that it does in the pictures.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. So do you still do the food truck?
We still do the food truck, and we also got a hot dog stand. We're not as public as we used to do. I do a lot of like private caterings and stuff. It's kind of a pain to pull the food truck all over Nashville, but when it makes sense, I do take it out for sure.
Yeah, you have full service catering for all event sizes, corporate catering, made easy, convenient catering, drop-off options, and as you mentioned, the food truck for private events and bookings. Nashdogs.com. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
I love, like, my stories. I grew up, my dad had small business, had a restaurant, so I kind of grew up in that, and to see people be successful with it is just kind of really cool to see, because I saw him struggle for so long.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me was really just kind of being able to pursue something that aligns with my priorities. And I found out that, corporate business is never going to align with what I want to do. Their goal is to make money. My goal is to take care of me and my family.
Yeah.
So the only way that I could do that was to come up with my own business and be able to kind of chase it the way that makes the most sense,
Yeah, that's cool. Michael Spencer, owner of Nash Dogs. You talk about being loyal to the Old Hickory Village. Why is this place special to you?
Old Hickory Village is the reason that Nash Dogs exist. I used to sit on the side of that road right there, and without the support of Old Hickory Village Nash Dogs, I probably would not have had the courage and motivation to continue the way that I did. There's a ton of people that I could name off. I'm not going to say one because it wouldn't be fair, but there's a lot of people that were my regular customers that kind of came through day after day, week after week, and really helped me have enough funds to take care of myself and build this into something that was going to be substantial long term. I feel like that Old Hickory gave Nash Dogs the credibility to succeed, and without this community, I don't think that the business would have lasted long.
Always a good day, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Love me some Old Hickory Village.
There you go.
Absolutely. Michael, thanks so much again for having us and jumping on with us, and we'll continue to get the word out, because this is obviously fantastic and the food's awesome, but we appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. I listen to you guys all the time, so it's really surreal to have y'all sitting here.
Oh,
at the cafe.
thanks,
Thanks.
buddy.
Yeah,
Even though
for
we
sure.
don't look like the AI picture you created.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
your voice doesn't match your face. I think that's what you got to say about radio, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks for radio.
All right, guys.
That's
Thank
it.
y'all.
Again, Nash Dogs here in Old Hickory Village off of Robinson Road.
It's basically Old Hickory Boulevard.
Yeah, Old Hickory Boulevard.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And follow them on Instagram at Nash Dogs. The pictures are fantastic. So, Michael, thank you. I just refreshed our text thread, and our question today is, who taught you how to drive? And there's a few on here that are nostalgic about grandparents and how they helped you drive. So that's kind of the goal of these questions of the day, is like to have a little fun, a little nostalgia, get you commenting about people that helped you in your journey throughout life.
Let's go to Dustin on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. He wants to weigh in on the question of the day. Dustin, what you got?
Hey guys, I did call in to talk about who taught me how to drive, but I feel led to do something, and I'm going to do it. I just want to say that I'm so proud of that guy with the Nash Dogs, because I'm doing the same thing right now. I asked the good Lord. I was working 2 jobs, starting a business, lawn care business, not just mowing, doing everything, lawn care, trimming bushes, aerating, seed, all that. Long story short, I know what he went through. And I asked the good Lord, I said, do I wait till February and build up a big stack of cash for this thing, or do I jump out on a leap of faith right now? And I asked for signs, and I kept getting through my coworkers that are just not good people and always coming after me. And he said, you can do either one. He said, you can either have the faith of a mustard seed or you can wait till February. Guys, I took what I would call the hard path, but it's following the Lord is the easy path. And my first week, and I'm not bragging, I'm putting this out there, I made $2,700 mowing grass.
Attaboy.
Wow, that's
And
awesome.
it's not going to be like that every week. There's going to be struggles. Next week it's raining. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get down deep, and I'm going to seek the Lord and seek Him every day. My life is changing because of faith. I went out. I'm so proud of that guy, what he said about his kids. Guys, if there's something you want to do, you can do anything through him. All right. Now, for the driving, my dad, he was a Makita guy. And I'll show you where I'm going with this. I was not tall enough to drive yet. It was an old Toyota Tacoma, green 2-door. My dad was a roofer. He had a big old rack in the back. One time we put a dang go-kart on top of it from Walmart to take it home. It was crazy. But I would sit on this Makita toolbox and drive in the mornings, because he lived in Muhlenberg County, Kentucky, and my mom lived in Christian County. And I would get up at like 4 in the morning just to drive over and get on the bus to go to school in Christian County. And I'm just so thankful for that. Getting up early, my dad teaching me what work was about, teaching me how to drive. I don't look like it. Everybody calls me a pretty boy, but I'm a rough old country boy, and I grew up on boilers and things. I'm so happy that I had people that were just rough around the edges and showed me those things.
That's Dustin. You know
awesome.
what? That's a great story. And as I tell you before you don't go anywhere, there is never the perfect time to do anything. If you wait for the perfect time, you'll wait till the day you die, and it's all done. All we have is time.
Let me tell you, I've wasted so much time. Today I was listening to Courageous by Casting Crowns, and I used to be in church when I was a kid, and a pregnancy, and people talking about me. Don't let the devil push me out. People talking about me for having a kid out of wedlock. Guys, it's just between you and the Lord, and it's not between you and anybody else.
Right.
Don't let that stop you. It's the devil. Get out there, find the Lord. Listen to the words of Courageous, all the dads out there. It will break your heart for these kids out here who don't have somebody teaching them.
I get it. As Chase and I say all the time, Dustin, only one perfect man walked the earth, and it's not us.
That's right. Talk to him. Y'all have a good one.
All right,
Thank
buddy.
you, Dustin.
Thank
Always
you.
appreciate your calls and great call for sure. 615-737-1025. We'll get to more of your calls and texts coming up next. Live from Nash Dogs and Old Hickory, Chasing Big Joe, 105 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. We are presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel, where we will be tomorrow. I want to remind you, you hear all this great football off-season coverage. It's all brewed by Tennessee Brew Works, the official craft beer of the football off-season here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. At Nash Dogs today in Old Hickory, having a blast and, looking at little trickles of information about the NFL schedule. We know the international games, but also having fun with our question of the day, which is, who taught you how to drive?
I mean, you guys, again, I say it every show, all these texts you guys send in about our question today, it makes our day. So thank you.
7216, my grandfather on a 65 Chevy C60 with a split rear end. I was 13.
I mean, think of the memory of that. That's amazing. Thank you.
0031, my drunk grandpa taught me to drive a 3 on a tree when I was 12 doing donuts in a parking lot.
Oh, my goodness. 3 on a tree.
Yep.
Yes.
7572, my father taught me in a 70 model Chevy pickup with a 3 on the tree in a field.
I mean, think about that. Would you not like to have that truck back?
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, just sitting and take it out for a spin on the weekends.
That's like the sad thing that you very rarely anymore see like old cars or trucks like that. Like you'll see them every now and then, and they have the antique plates.
Yeah,
but like a lot of them are either in scrap heaps or sitting in garages somewhere.
I mean, I would love if I had enough money to go find my 310 GX my first ever car. I mean, it was awful. I would love to have that car just to have that car.
Just to have it, yeah. 4720, my mom got me driving lessons for high school graduation, Brentwood Driving School. First lesson, the guy asked me if I knew how to drive, and I said yes. After several near accidents on Riverside Drive, he said, now you'll learn how to drive.
He lied to the instructor like he's not going to find out.
I did do driving school for like a week because that was like the easiest way to take the learner's permit test.
Right, and didn't you get a discount on insurance? I think your parents might have got a little discount.
Yeah. 0178, I got my license by driving down Chutes Lane about a half a mile, turning around and parking in a regular parking spot back at the driver's testing station. No parallel parking required.
They should require that today.
They absolutely should. One of my favorite stories is I was 18, so I'd been driving for a few years, and we go down to Texas for Thanksgiving. And my grandfather's brother lived there and, was sick and stuff, so we wanted to do what would turn out to be the last Thanksgiving with him, So we go down, and I'm driving, and I have my mom, grandfather, and grandmother all in the car. It's we're my grandfather's Cadillac. It's probably 8 o'clock at night, the night before Thanksgiving. We're going through rural Texas, and everyone's telling me what to do. Everyone's telling me to, go here or slow down or
even Carol.
Oh, she's the cause of this, and I love my mother. So because everybody's yelling at me, telling me directions, except for my grandfather sitting in the front seat, and he knows it's like making me nervous. So he's trying to get everybody to calm down. Well, my mom is mad at me about something, and I missed the speed limit change. And of course, rural Texas, there's the sheriff sitting right there. So I see the lights and get my first ever speeding ticket. I was so mad. And
wait, did you not try to talk your way out of it?
Oh, my grandfather did. My grandfather was pleading with him like it wasn't his fault. We were all talking to him, trying to tell him where to go, and my mom, he told my mom to be quiet.
Oh, yes. How much was the ticket?
Like $125.
Okay.
Something like that.
Carol pay for
it? No. Papa did.
Papa
took care of it.
Was that your first ever ticket?
That was my first one.
In Texas?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Little town in Texas. So.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, and looking back on it, I'm like, if I was, I kind of remember thinking, like, if I was, 30, would you have given me a ticket? Like, here's an 18-year-old. But you can clearly see I got my family in the car that I'm driving.
Hey, man, you're speeding, pal.
Well, I know.
You were speeding.
I didn't know.
Right. Now you do know.
Right? But that was one of my favorite stories. Neil says, my grandfather would let me and my bro drive when we were 12. He lived in Bullhead City, Arizona, and he would let us sit in the driver's seat of his brand new Lincoln Town Car and drive to the store. I miss him so much. Great grandfather to have growing up.
Wait, back to your grandpa's car. V8, V10,
V8 had a Corvette engine.
No wonder you were speeding.
The Cadillac, and that was my first car,
right?
Too. Cadillac DeVille's the V8 North Star engine was basically a Corvette engine.
Lord,
Surprised
you didn't take off.
That baby could go. Oh, I did.
No,
if I got
into space,
if I got in that today, I probably who knows, because I'm so used to what they have in new cars.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do with that power.
V8, my goodness. You probably do 180 at National Super Speedway.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably could.
Probably 163.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Just a guess.
Well, what I like about all this in your story, there a lot of the text is like my grandpa, and that's very cool, man, because we've told you grandpas, man, make the world go round. And so these are all fun reading about how your grandpa taught you to drive on the farm or wherever, but it's cool, man. It's really cool reading these stories.
0323. My mom taught me how to drive in her Jeep, and we drove around an empty parking lot every weekend.
That's it. Parking lots were the key, man. And then you get on the road, you're like, oh God, what am I doing?
This is nothing like that. My favorite was I was scared of the wall. So true NASCAR fan. I was scared.
Right.
I didn't want to get too close to the wall. And when I was learning to drive, for those of you on the west side, that's when they were building the huge bridge on Briley there at White Ridge Road.
Oh, yeah.
And so everything was so compact. And here I am in this big-ass boat of a car, trying to drive. I'm surprised I didn't.
Not one time you hit the wall?
Not one time. Nope. Eric wants to weigh in on our.
Hey, guys. So my father and his father both taught me how to drive. My dad, long time in the automotive industry, what he did his whole life. And he had pretty strict rules before he would let us try for our driver's license test. We needed to know how to rotate our tires, change our brakes, and we had to be able to drive a stick shift. So he had a 73 Celica and an 86 Celica, and I'm from Memphis originally, and we learned how to drive that in the Germantown Baptist parking lot. And my dad, in his infinite wisdom, would always put it on a little bit of an incline before we learned how to engage the clutch.
Oh, that's all. What did he make you do? Change a tire? What else?
Had to know how to change and rotate our tires, do our brakes, change our oil.
I would never drive. I'd still be waiting on a friend to pick me. I can't do any of that. Eric, I cannot do any of that. So God bless your grandpa and your pa, man, for teaching you how to do that.
Oh yeah, we grew up right.
Yeah, you did. Thanks, Eric.
Thanks a lot, guys. Love the show.
Yes, sir. Thanks, you,
Eric.
Do you know how to change the oil? Be honest. Be honest. That's a no.
Do I know? Can I do it? Probably not. Do I know
right.
what needs to be done? Yes.
Okay. Right.
I mean, it's kind of like changing a tire. Could I do it if I absolutely had to do it? Yes. Do I want to do it?
Right. I needed an oil change in my car. My son-in-law did it in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I said, no, I don't want to do any of this.
Well, it's not. The concept isn't that hard. I mean, but you got to jack the car up, get under it, take the bolt off, drain all the oil out, change the oil filter, put the new oil filter on, put the bolt back, and then fill it up. Right.
I'm done. I'm going to go to take 5.
Yeah.
I'll do that. But like Eric, I mean, that's, and I'm not going to get into the story, but I didn't have a father teach me how to drive. So I would have never known how to do any of that stuff. So Eric, you're blessed, buddy. And I know you know that.
615-737-1025. Bicycle Boy, what you got?
Hey, fellas, the statute of limitations has run out, so I think I can tell this story now. But when I was about 21 years old, I decided I wanted to be a tractor trailer driver. So I learned, I signed up for my road test. I go, start the road test, you have to parallel park those things. And I'm on a full-blown tractor trailer. Parallel parked it, you disconnect the trailer, reconnect it, pull back in. So where the test starts is one of the big municipal parks, and there's a traffic circle. So you start out, you go out of the park, and you do all the stuff, and then Now I finished all that. I'm coming back in, and I have to go to the traffic circle and turn around it. At the inside of the traffic circle, there's signs with arrows pointing which way you have to go around the traffic circle. So I start around the traffic circle. If you've ever ridden in the passenger seat of a tractor trailer, if you look over on the driver's side into the mirror, all you see is like the front half of the trailer as you're going around the sharp corner. Well, I'm about halfway around the traffic circle. I look and I can see the back wheels of the trailer, and I watch them mow down every one of those signs with the arrows on them. And so I pulled back around. I thought, oh, I've had it now. I pulled back around. I pulled up to the starting place again, and I just kind of looked at the guy, and he goes, well, you passed. Good luck. So apparently he didn't see me mowing down all those signs.
Oh, that's great, man.
Maybe that's
right.
so. Is that why you're a bicycle boy? You just stick to that?
Yeah, I figure I'm safer on the two wheels than I am 16.
Oh,
That is a fantastic call. Thank you.
All right,
Oh,
thanks,
man.
fellas.
That's awesome.
Oh, gosh.
615-737-1025. While more coming from Nash Dogs here in Old Hickory. 1025 the game. It takes a while to win in the Cup Series. You have a lot of success, coming up through the ranks in the trucks and the O'Reilly Series, but then you get to the Cup Series and it's very, very difficult to win. So has that tested your patience a little bit? Big Joe, 102.5, The Game here on this Wednesday here at Nash Dogs in Old Hickory. We're out the rest of the week. Omni tomorrow, Goodwood on Friday. You and Dr. Crane will be there.
Yeah, looking forward to Goodwood on. Dr. Crane's excited about Goodwood on Friday.
Yeah, we're letting him out. I like to let him out every now and then. So.
Dr. Crane, is that correct?
That is correct. I'm ready for some pressure-treated wood. Ready to just look up and down those aisles they have and whatever that layout is. But they have cedar, oak, pine. They got it all. I'm excited.
He's going to be in his element.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. He has Dave at Goodwood Nashville has reclaimed beams from like churches and structures around Middle Tennessee. It should be a tour. I'm not kidding you, man. It is like this came from this church. This came from this. I mean, on Dr. Crane, you're going to bring your checkbook on Friday, buddy.
Don't worry. The paycheck will come through on Friday, and then, it'll reload into my account. I mean, it's a tough place to go when you just have that money flow right in the account like that.
Good. We'll have fun.
Kenny the mailman wants to weigh in on our question of the day. Kenny, what you got?
Hello, good friends. Now, this is a rerun. Is it all? Y'all want to hear my story again?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Now, my dad was a stickler, do everything by the book. I got a learner's permit at 15. Could barely go every now and then. Had to sit straight, do everything 100% right. Well, my granny, who I told you about yesterday, remember dipping snuff and burned 2 grooves in the side of her mouth when she'd kiss you. She would call and say, let Kenny bring me either the Plymouth Fury, which looked like the Batmobile, or the Chrysler New Yorker, which was 40 feet long, and he can drive me to church on Sunday, just a couple of blocks. And they said, well, that'd be great. Well, what we didn't tell them is Granny had me driving her to the Fairgrounds Arena on Saturday night for the wrestling match 3 times a month, except on flea market night, which she hated. So I was a nervous wreck. There was no such thing as a parking lot. It was just parallel park as you can, spin out in the gravel because Jackie Fargo lost. I was so nervous driving there and driving home. But fortunately, Mom and Dad never found out, and Granny never missed a wrestling match.
Oh, well done. Where's that Plymouth? Where's that Plymouth Fury now, Kenny?
It might be in some museum passing as the Batmobile because it had the pins on the back and everything.
Yes.
That was okay to drive, but the Chrysler New Yorker was so long. I mean, it was like you would turn and half of it would go straight.
Kenny, that's a great call. Thank you.
You can't make up stuff like this. That's absolutely true. Oh, my bad.
No doubt.
See you, buddy.
Thank you, Kenny.
Took his grandma to see Jackie Fargo wrestle.
Love that.
I mean, is that anything more Nashville than that?
Probably saw Dr. Crane's grandfather.
Yeah, my grandfather had a big feud with Jackie Fargo back in the day.
Yeah.
Through the
Did your grandpa wrestle at the fairgrounds?
Yeah, that was his primetime spot when he was here in Nashville. He did a lot of house shows from, I think, like 71 to 76. And around 78 is when he said, I'm hanging up the boots.
My dad probably saw him because, Fargo had the Fargo strut, which, I mean, Ric Flair, I think, credits Buddy Rogers, but he also, I've heard him mention Jackie Fargo, too, of kind of how he got that persona of the nature boy.
So, but your grandpa and Fargo had a rivalry, but I bet back then it was like personal, right? I mean, it wasn't for show.
Yeah, again, not trying to go too much behind closed doors on this, but I remember there were countless stories my grandfather would tell me at the kitchen table, like, yeah, nice guy from time to time, but there was a true feud outside the ring.
They didn't like each other.
I want to hear one day, sit down and tell us all the stories. Man.
I want to hear a story about they're having a match and Nani comes in and throws salt in Fargo's eye.
Somebody actually cut my grandfather in, I think, Mobile, Alabama or Huntsville, Alabama, out right on the arm. And, this is before my mom and my 2 uncles knew what he was doing for a profession. So they called him the spaghetti salesman because he was Italian, had a briefcase all the time. And they ended up walking out of, I guess, the house one day and they saw a cut. And, of course, they all watched wrestling on Saturday mornings. So they saw the wrestler get cut on the arm. So my grandfather comes home one day and has a giant cut on the arm. And then that's when they put 2 and 2 together and like, oh, my goodness, you're a wrestler. And so, yeah, the rest is history.
That's awesome.
What a it's like Schwarzenegger in True Lies. You're a businessman. You have a secret life as a double agent. That's nice, man.
I'm convinced you're a double agent.
Me?
Yeah.
Triple agent.
Triple agent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Boxing fans. You're a boxer. Boxing fans, 1025 The Game and Team Boxing League have your chance to win tickets to see the Nashville Smash take on the Boston Butchers at Municipal Auditorium Saturday, May 23rd. 16 rounds, 16 fighters each. Go at it for 1 round of nonstop action. Text the keyword FIGHT, F-I-G-H-T, to the game text line at 615-737-1025 for your chance to enter to win now. Coming up next, Tim Hasselbeck joins us, ESPN 1025 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Wednesday. We're at Nash Dogs in Old Hickory. Usually he joins us on Tuesday and moves stuff around for he's got this TV gig. It's kind of a big deal. Tim Hasselbeck joins us now on the program. Tim, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I mean, I appreciate the flexibility, right? We can make me feel
Absolutely.
bad about the flexibility. I mean, this is as far as I think it's approaching a Guinness Book of World Records for longest standing radio hit.
That's true.
This goes back, like, what year did my brother play for the Titans? Like, what year would that have been? That had to be
2011. 2011.
It's 2011. So
Yes,
where
sir.
are we at? 14 years now doing, like, is
Yeah.
it 15 years?
Yeah,
15
we're close
coming
to
up.
15,
Yep.
yeah.
I'm about to get our driver's license.
Well, that's kind of perfect. Who taught you how to drive? That's our question of the day.
All right, this is terrible. I was in Cincinnati, Ohio. My mom is one of 12 kids. Her youngest brother, my uncle Michael, we were going to go to a sporting goods store in downtown Cincinnati, and we're walking out to his Volkswagen Jetta, and he gives me the keys, and I'm 12 years old. And we're driving. I'm on the highway driving to the sporting goods store, and he's like, "Hey man, we're gonna get pulled over." And I'm like, "We're going too fast?" And he's like, "No, you're going 35. We're on the highway. Like, you gotta speed up. Let's go."
That's fit.
I think
That's
I'm
fantastic.
hoping the statute of limitations has expired. But yeah, that was my driving experience.
So was it you and your uncle only?
Yeah, just the two. Like, and I don't know why he wanted me to drive. I don't know. Maybe it's probably he had a bunch of older brothers, and he had 11 older brothers and sisters. So it's probably how he learned to drive, was just like someone older than you gave you keys. But I look back at it now. I was 12 years old. Like,
Did you run inside and tell your mom, like, Mom, guess what happened?
no, I literally, I think the secret was kept until I got married. It was like rehearsal dinner, and I was like, "Oh, by the way, 12 years ago, I let you drive a car."
Tim Hasselbeck is with us. The schedule, we're starting to get a little bit of the schedule, and the full release will be tomorrow night. What did you think about the international matchups that we got today?
I think what's interesting about the international matchups, I think in some ways they tell us, I think, like who they think is going to be good, because they value them. Like, clearly what the NFL is doing is they value these international games. And so I think if they're going to value the international games, they're going to put teams that they care about, that they want to promote, in them. So, look, the Bengals to me were one that showed up. They obviously think that they're going to be a good one. When I look at the location of some of these, I mean, and some of them, we knew about, but you're talking about places that are far. Like, this isn't. And they're not that going to Mexico City's right around the corner, but you're talking Australia, and they've been doing the London games for a while. But in some of these places, Rio, like, I think my feeling is, I used to, as a player, look at the schedules when it came out and was like, all right, when's my bye week? Where am I around Thanksgiving and Christmas? I think we've gotten to the point now where guys are bracing for impact on these international games, just because of, honestly, like the travel and the undertaking of it.
We don't know who the Seahawks are going to play in the opener yet, but it's one of three possibilities based on, well, I guess technically one of four based on deductive reasoning. I don't think it'll be the Cardinals. I think it's the Bears, but it could be the Chargers or the Patriots. Could you see them doing the Super Bowl rematch as the opener, or do they want to save that for later in the season? And has the Vrabel situation maybe affected that?
I'm not sure if the Vrabel situation has affected it. I could see them waiting a little bit on, the Super Bowl rematch just because, that's something to sell later in the year, whereas, the week one is easy to sell. So, let's just say you said the Chargers were one of the teams, let's say it was the Chargers, are probably not necessarily a matchup that would, be able to be highlighted, if it were a week 5 or 6 game. Now, Chicago, because of the market and that type of thing, that would, I think, have, some allure to it. So I would guess that it's probably Chicago or, I would guess that Chicago or New England, or I take that back. I would guess that it's Chicago or the Chargers. But look, maybe I'm being too kind and naive to not think that all this attention on New England wouldn't have an impact.
Talking to Tim Hasselbeck on the Chase and Big Joe show. Tim, our question of the day yesterday was, and we were excited to ask you this yesterday until you canceled on us. Our question of the day is, who is your all-time favorite athlete that nobody really heard of? Like my all-time favorite athlete that nobody ever heard of, I love Jim Jensen for the Miami Dolphins. That guy was a Boston University guy. He was a backup quarterback, backup tight end, backup whatever, but he would go to the game and would give you everything that he had, and nobody really heard of him. But Jim Jensen is my favorite. Do you have one that comes to mind? Because I know your father played with a lot of guys in the league. You might have one.
Well, first off, Jim Jensen, he also had a sweet mustache. And so it obviously gained a lot of respect from you because of the stash that he was rocking back then. I think he wore number 11 too, didn't he?
Yes. Yep.
He did, yeah. So I kind of disqualified you there because I've heard of him.
That's all right.
His number and his stash. Here's what I would say. A guy that this would be a little unique. A guy that I connected with in a way where I really appreciated him. This guy's name was Jay Skywalker, who's a quarterback that went to Howard University, and he was a 7th round draft pick by the New England Patriots. And when I was a ball boy with the Patriots, there were just 3 quarterbacks on the roster at the time. And so when the quarterbacks needed to pair up to throw, I would sit there and throw with Jay Walker. And, it was leading into a time where I was in high school and started to get recruited to go play in college and that type of stuff. And he just kind of became like a friend, an encourager, a mentor to me a little bit. And it's kind of an odd pairing, some guy that went to Howard that was playing quarterback in the pros. And then what's funny is I've kind of always remained in touch with him, not like we speak every week or something, but stayed in touch with him. And he now calls games at ESPN, and we run into each other every now and then. So Jay Skywalker, who I think broke every passing record at Howard when he was a player there, was a guy that I appreciated quite a bit.
Oh, I like that. Who were the other 2 quarterbacks on that Patriots team?
I was just about to ask that.
So that would be Drew Bledsoe and Scott Zolak.
Oh, my goodness. For some reason, I thought Grogan and Eason, but I'm way older than you are.
That would have been, I was younger during that time. So and I've said this, so I'm not saying this, that I wouldn't say to Zolak. Zolak obviously does the radio for the New England Patriots. And so you basically do as your ball boy and you work with the quarterbacks, you do little chores for them during training camp. Hey, put my shirt, my jersey on my shoulder pads, put the pads, in the pants for practice. If he wants a belt towel or anything the guy wanted in his locker room, you just be his little gopher, and go do that stuff. And so I did that for Drew Bledsoe. And I just remember at the end of training camp, Bledsoe, sent me on a little errand. I think he literally was hey, will you go to my car and get my can of Copenhagen? And then also I have a folder in there, bring that to me. And I'm oh, you gotta be kidding me. So I go and I get it and bring it back to him. And he's hey, before you go, and he takes it out and he gives me 10 $100 bills. And I'm a 17-year-old kid. And I'm you've got it. I felt guilty. I was oh my gosh, this is amazing. He just gave me $1,000. Right. So I just was he became my favorite quarterback of all time at that point. And then Zolak, who I was doing the same stuff for, I'm still waiting for him to pay me. So like, that's where we are with it. So that's how I would rank those quarterbacks back in New England.
I think Zolak would expect you to give him $1,000. So as soon as you do that, he'll recognize you.
The tide has maybe turned, I think, a little bit.
All right. You've spoken about your dad's friendship with Mark Bavaro. Was that one guy that you were like, oh my, like speechless, starstruck?
Yeah, you know what's funny was we never looked at like the guys my dad was friends with or teammates with as like anything other than, like he was Mr. Bavaro. Like we wouldn't call him Mark Bavaro. Like we called him Mr. It was Mr. Gross,
right?
And so, yeah, Mark was interesting. He stayed with. The first thing I remember about him was, he was a rookie with the Giants, and my dad was an old, kind of veteran, and Mark was staying with us at this house that we were renting for the season. And my younger brother, he probably, woke up. He probably wet his bed. Is probably what he did. He woke up in the middle of the night, and so he, was crying. And Mark heard him, didn't know what to do. So he kind of like, tries to like walk him to where my parents' bedroom was, and this was the newest thing at the time. Like this is why we thought Mark Bavaro was cool. Is he had Indiglo on his watch, like that had just come out, that you could like press the button and you could see your watch at night. Like that's it wasn't like we didn't think of Mark Bavaro and think, oh, he's the guy that just carried Ronnie Lott, down the field. He's really the guy that like he had the Indiglo watch.
Yeah, that's great.
That's awesome. We will have more with Tim Hasselbeck coming up next on this Wednesday live from Nash Dogs on 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe on this Wednesday, continuing our conversation with ESPN NFL analyst and Innsworth football coach Tim Hasselbeck here on the program. Tim, I saw this article on NFL.com about the most complete rosters going into the 2026 season. Before I tell you who they had number one, what team do you think has the most complete roster right now?
I think Seattle's pretty good. Another team I think is really good. It'd be interested to see where they ranked. Would be I think the Green Bay Packers are a pretty good roster. And then if I can put a third one in there, I would say I think the Denver Broncos would have a strong case.
Interesting. All right, Seattle they have at number 2.
Okay.
Green Bay they don't have on the list,
Okay.
and they have Denver at 7.
Yeah, I mean, look, I say Denver. Denver was a top 3 scoring defense, top 3 defense in terms of yards around. I think they were number 1 in red zone efficiency, and they led the league in sacks with 68. So, like, when I think about Denver, their defense is so good. And then, look, they a lot of people, maybe myself included, thought that there's a good chance they were heading to the Super Bowl before the quarterback got hurt.
Yeah.
So who did they have at 1?
The Rams.
Okay. I mean, when I look at their receiver situation, that, Devontae Adams not the same Devontae Adams. Now he caught a ton of touchdowns last year. And then who was 3?
3, Philadelphia.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're like Philadelphia's offensive, like Saquon Barkley fell off a cliff last year.
Yep.
So I think that, that one seems surprising to me. Like there's really no excuse for, the drop off that they've experienced there. So that one, I think that one surprises me. I think the Rams is, that's a good football team. It's probably why they felt like they could draft a quarterback in the first round, but I don't know that I would have them at 1. I don't think I would have them in front of Seattle.
Baltimore is 4, Buffalo 5, Detroit 6.
Wow.
Denver, as I mentioned, at 7, San Francisco 8, Houston 9, and New England at 10.
So I think those are surprising me. So Buffalo, I don't believe. I'd be curious what you guys think. Is it this might be the least talented team that
I agree
Josh Allen has had around him in the last 4 years. So Buffalo
I agree.
Really surprises me. And then
I think they're in a position to take a pretty significant step back, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then Baltimore, they have had massive changes, like significant changes on the O-line.
Mm-hmm.
Lose a really good tight end. Lose their big old fullback. And, maybe they're just saying, like, look, all these new defensive additions, we're expecting them to be, good and better. And maybe that's fair, but that seems relatively high. Yeah, that seems high for me.
I'm going to push back on the Buffalo because I think, Tim, the new stadium bump does something to a team. Did your brother ever play at the Kingdome?
No, but they were at like UW for a year before they were at, what do they call it now?
Quest Field, is it Quest
yep,
or something?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So what was that like for him making the transition? I'm sure that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was a big deal. And they obviously have great home field advantage now and, with their fans and all of that stuff. Look, I was in Philadelphia for the last year of the vet and then the first year of Lincoln Financial. So, but I don't know that I look at the Buffalo Bills and I just think like they don't here are their receivers, guys. DJ Moore, who they traded for, basically is anointed their number 1. Josh Palmer and Khalil Shaquille. Okay, they've got pretty good tight ends, and James Cook is a good player. But like they're not an overwhelmingly, powerful team in terms of running the football. And then defensively, Ed Oliver is probably their best player. I don't see a roster that's just like infested with talent. That's not how I see the Bills.
I want you to put your talent evaluator hat on because you know quarterbacks, and we're looking at the quarterback crop of 27. What does Arch Manning need to do, Tim, in your opinion, to elevate himself as like the preeminent number one no-brainer draft choice for a quarterback in 27?
I think they need to win. They need to win at Texas. That's the number one thing. I think they need to win, and then I think that he needs to have a lot of production. But I don't think that he needs to. I think if it's close, I think he'll get the benefit of the doubt. And so, what I think, like some guys need a moment to kind of prove it. Like I think in a way, Mendoza in the national championship game, that little lead draw that they ran and he kind of breaks the tackle on 4th and 5. Like I think there were moments that he had that it was like that were confirming to people. And I think most of the time guys need like times like that for people to kind of be all in on him. I don't think that he needs that, because I think that there's a feeling, just the history of the family. I think there's a feeling that, if he's close and he's productive at Texas, that he'll have a good shot at being the number one quarterback.
Do you think because of his uncles, he is unfairly judged?
Here's what I would say, and I felt this way with Eli. There is immense pressure on there was immense pressure on Peyton, there was on Eli, there will be on Arch. That's kind of how it goes. Eli's ability to meet the expectations and handle the pressure, especially when things didn't go well, because adversity will hit, just like it's already started to hit Arch in some elements. I think that I don't want to say it's unfair, because like there are benefits, like there are things that are they're burdens, but there are benefits to it as well. And I just think that how he deals with it, I think will say a lot about the success he'll have. I think I've said this to you guys before. I thought the best thing about Eli was that you didn't know if he won the lottery or if his dog died. Because that's how steady he was. And he needed to be, because every time he screwed up, like it was like, well, he's not as good as Peyton. Nope, he's not as good as Peyton. Can't do it. And like that would cripple a lot of people, and it just didn't cripple him. He seemed unfazed by it, and that's a pretty good quality to have as a quarterback.
Well, it is. And last year I felt bad for Arch, the opening game versus Ohio State. No quarterback was going to win that game, right? I mean, that defense, you saw who all got drafted. So I thought out of the gate, Arch was already behind the 8 ball even further because of what happened in that game. I'm just curious, because the quarterbacks on the horizon, as you well know, there's not 15 guys ready to go in the first round next year. He's the guy that everybody's pointing to. I was just curious what you thought, what he has to do. And you're correct. He's got to win those big games. He has to.
Yeah, I think if he wins, and it comes down to it, and Dante Moore has an amazing year, I still think what's going to happen is people through the process are going to beat up Dante Moore and his size and stuff like that. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, in the team, an organization is investing in somebody they want to be their starting quarterback for the next 10 years. If it's even close, it's going to be hard not to invest in a Manning when there have been 3 Mannings that organizations have invested in a big way like that, in the draft, that have been pleased with the result.
Oh, absolutely. Before we go, there was 2 people texted in. Want to know if you had any stories about Jim Burt.
I don't know if I had any stories other than he used to bring his kids into the facility like my dad would bring us in. But I don't have any.
No fights, no Hasselbeck versus Burt fights. Come on, man.
No, I mean there are a lot of guys like this, Phil Simms would bring his kids in. yeah, there were some, actually the Mannings when my dad was with the Vikings, like, we got that's like some old pictures of us hanging out with them. Yeah, I don't have any good Jim Burt stories.
Well, I thought maybe you might wear your shirt 2 sizes too small in honor of Jim Burt one day.
Now, I will tell you, I do have a player on our high school roster here at Ensworth that he is wearing his jersey. He doesn't know who Jim Burt is, but like,
right.
He's showing a lot of belly in his uniform. Like, come on, man! Like, a little early for that.
Oh, that's great, man.
I feel like that's what you would have done, Joe. Joe, did you do that? That was probably you. Did you have one of those like Wilbur Marshall collars and
yes,
roll up the jersey to show the belly? Did you do that?
I had a neck roll. I had forearm pads all through. Even the college, I wore those because that was what we all had. But I had a neck roll even through college.
Wait. You wore forearm pads?
Yeah.
Like those?
Yep.
Wow. Now,
like the ones that
we thought you showed your age with Steve Grogan and Tony Easton. The forearm pads really just did it.
Well, the forearm pads had a smell that only your mom would love, right? That's the only person on the planet. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, only moms love the smell of their kids' practice stuff. That's the only person that loves that. But yeah.
And you had to have a bar coming straight down the middle of your face mask too. Right?
Oh, I told you my idol is Howie Long. I wore even in high school and college. I had a Howie Long cage face mask, and that's why when I've told Chase this, when I see these cages, these guys, they all wear the same cage. I want to see like the Wilbur Marshall, the Howie Long face mask. I mean, those things were
something.
Beautiful.
You just gave me an idea. I think I'm gonna make it mandatory for every one of our linemen to have a bar down face mask like that.
Do it.
Yes.
Do it.
Okay. Maybe I do that. Maybe if I do that, you guys would come out to a game. You know what I mean? Like maybe.
Right. Well, listen. Remember what face mask Dan Marino wore? He had a cage.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He was
did have
awesome.
the bar down though. He had the other one.
No.
I'm saying the one that starts from like the middle of your forehead and comes
yes.
down. We're gonna reinstitute that. But listen, you knew if you were gonna hit a fullback that had one of those face masks, it was gonna hurt for about a week.
That's exactly right.
Tim, one more before we let you go. I have predicted. I put together my Titans schedule, and I think they're going to end up with one primetime game, and I think it's going to be on your network at Baltimore on a Monday night. I think Derrick Henry's first game against the Titans will be a Monday night game. I forgot where I put it, like week 6, 7, somewhere in there.
I think that's probably a good forecast. They were really bad last year. There's probably no reason to believe that they're going to make a significant jump. And so there has to be something beyond the matchup, just team to team, to make it sellable. And so I think that's a fair prediction. I'm just relieved that when you started to say it, Chase, you're like, I'm predicting one, and I thought you were going to say win. And I was like, oof.
No, we're not going to go that far yet.
Hey, listen, that's Benny from the Bronx calling in with the negativity, in May. So I'm glad that you finished the thought for me there.
Yeah, for sure. Tim, appreciate it as always, and we'll talk to you next week.
See you, fellas.
Tim Hasselbeck joins us usually on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, and always a fun conversation with him. We'll come back with more live from Nash Dogs and Old Hickory. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm used to having Tim on Tuesday. And appreciate Tim Hasselbeck for joining us. We are at Nash Dogs in Old Hickory. We have been telling you about this place, 1427 Robinson Road, but it's right off Old Hickory Boulevard. Serving at their Old Hickory Cafe. They do catering for corporate events and food truck bookings. Plus, they have the Opry Mills location. You can just find out more at nashdogs.com. It's fantastic. We both tried the Dawn, which was awesome.
Yeah, man.
And now we have dessert, which I have a caramel cheesecake. You've had the banana pudding, and we're never leaving. So
no, and we told him too. We're like, hey, do you mind if we sleep on the bench over there? Like,
You're gonna come back tomorrow. No, the food's all gone.
I will tell you, I'm a little bit surprised there's not been more leaks on the schedule. I don't.
Yeah.
Usually we've got those, but it's become such a big deal now that, like, all right, we got to figure out what's happening when they play in, and it's taken a life of its own. But usually we have something out there, and there's nothing right now.
I have not seen anything. I haven't seen it, like, especially with the Titans.
Right. Maybe, like Schefter would pop something out there or something, but no, nothing so far. So that's all tomorrow, and then we'll Friday we'll be able to react to everything on the air, what's going on with the schedule. But I still think, and we've talked about this a lot, about opening game and where to go and what's going to happen this year for the final season of Nissan Stadium. But you made a thing yesterday, like they'll have the last game of the year. Hopefully it's the last game of the year at Nissan Stadium, not on the road. But, man, if they make the playoffs and they extend that for another – because what's the last home playoff? The Bengals in 21, the Ravens in 20. They did not have one in 19. They did not have one in the teens at all.
Yeah. So
you got to go back to 2008 versus the Ravens was a home game.
Yep. So Bengals in 21.
2002, the Steelers was a home game. And the Music City Miracle. This is all playoff games. Is that right?
Yeah.
99. Yeah. And no, I'm sorry. 2000, they had a playoff game when the Ravens beat them. 2002, the Nedney field goal versus the Steelers. Right? And then so 8, the Ravens beat them in the playoffs again. That's when Chris Johnson's ankle got twisted and they denied it, and it happened. I blame Derek Mason for that. And they didn't go another home playoff game for what? 2020? So there's only been a handful of playoff games at Nissan Stadium.
So I saw this on X. The Vegas Raiders are the only team that has not been scheduled for an international game this decade. Their last appearance outside the U.S. was London in 2019.
Okay. Titans only had one.
No, they've had 2.
This decade.
Oh, this decade. Yeah, you're right. So 2018 and
22 or 23, 22, is it? When they wanted to trade him to Baltimore, Derrick Henry, the trade. Was that 22?
22 or 23.
Gosh.
Was that Vrabel's last year?
His last year was 23. It might have been the 22 season.
Yeah.
But they were still – no, it was 23 because they were still winning games in 22.
Yeah, you're right. So there you go.
I just saw the Saints. Where are the Saints playing? Where's that game?
That's they're playing Paris.
Paris. All right, well, it makes sense. The New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe next year Titans fans will get an international game.
Yeah, so there's really not been too many leaks. Usually you see all these schedule grids that have stuff.
Figure things out.
Now I think tomorrow is when a lot of that will happen, like throughout the day.
Yeah, leak out and all that. So with all that being said, when are the Preds going to name a GM?
Tomorrow around 5:30.
Is it that guy from Carolina people are talking about?
I think so. It could be.
I think because they're still in the playoffs.
Yeah. That was the Greg Wyshynski, who usually comes on with us, will be on tomorrow. He was on with DVD yesterday, and he brought that rumor up that the Preds have made their decision. It's just that team's still playing.
So if that team goes all the way,
I think they would announce, like, if it's a done deal, they would announce after this series. They can announce in between series.
Okay. But did he?
Because, I mean, the thing is, like, obviously they're all on the same page. Barry can handle things until he's done.
I thought Barry's done.
Oh, he's still the GM. He's still the GM until the new guy starts.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right. Well, I mean, if that's the case, then the patience is good, and
Yep.
hopefully this guy knows what he's doing. And so, but if they run the table. If Carolina runs the table,
which I think they could
fully be here until mid-June.
Yeah.
Isn't the draft in mid-June or sometime?
It's right after the Cup.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, look,
right.
The draft is, I would say, Barry Trotz and this staff is the one that's controlled this draft. I mean, maybe the new guy makes the picks and can change some of that, but they've done the scouting, they've done the homework and all of that.
Just don't announce it Friday.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it'll still be, whenever this year. I haven't even looked. When this.
I haven't paid a single attention to any of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Actually, Carolina swept, didn't they?
Did they?
I think they did. I'm going to be honest. I have not.
Okay.
I haven't paid as much attention to the playoffs because I was just so worn out.
Buffalo?
Carolina? So Carolina's waiting on. So if it is the Carolina guy, they should. I don't know what they're waiting for.
So they made it to the conference final.
Yes.
And they're waiting on whom?
Buffalo or Montreal, which that series is tied at 2.
Okay. I see Buffalo run the table a little bit there.
Colorado's up 3-1 on Minnesota. Vegas is up 3-2 on Anaheim. So conference finals are close to being set.
Okay, good.
I could see Anaheim forcing a game 7.
Good. I'll know is I like to see Buffalo. Yeah, I'm like you. I haven't paid hardly any attention to that.
So Colorado could clinch tonight. They host Minnesota. I think there's a good chance of that. And then tomorrow, get game 5 between Buffalo and Montreal, and game 6 between Vegas and Anaheim. So Vegas has a chance to close it out tomorrow.
Well done, then. When we come back, we got to get into this, what happened today with the ACC and the Big 12.
Yes, this might go into the 2 o'clock hour.
And this nonsense of the 24-game college football playoff is just driving me insane. And I will tell you why. And I think you guys will feel the same way.
615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Again, live at Nash Dogs in Old Hickory, 1427 Robinson Road on 1025 The Game. The Nashville Sounds are back in action tonight against the iCubs at First Horizon Park. First pitch, 6:35, and you can hear Jeff Him with pregame at 6:20 on 94.9 The Fan. It's presented by Twin Peaks Family Leisure and Social Cantina. And, of course, the iCubs are the AAA affiliate of the Chicago Cubs.
Are they? Oh, never would
Check
have got
that
that.
out. I know.
Nice.
The Iowa Cubs. I'll never forget going to Greer Stadium. They were playing the iCubs. My dad and I went to a game on like a Wednesday or Thursday night, something like that. And they, this was before Twitter and social media and all of that. And they literally announced, like, we have a late addition to the lineup, DHing tonight. They added the DH on a rehab, was Sammy Sosa.
Oh, yeah.
And there was probably like 400 people at Greer Stadium the start of the game, and that place was packed by the end of the game because people were calling home.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Sosa's here.
I remember Sosa did an assignment with Jackson, was a AA of the Cubs.
The Diamond Jacks.
And what did he bought them? It was like a 5-game rehab. He bought like 15 flat screens for the locker room. And
that's cool.
They catered Outback every night. That's like a thing those guys do, and they drop down.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is really cool. This was a long time ago.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's awesome when those big league guys, come to town on rehab assignments. I know we teased, and we don't have a ton of time this segment, so we'll start the 2:00 hour with this. But there's all this discussion on expansion with the college football playoff, and the ACC has voted for a 24-team playoff, which makes total sense because they don't, they get one or none in, seems like. So, Of course, they would want a situation where they could get more in. I saw on Twitter that somebody put out there that officials with ESPN are happy with the 12 and do not want any more than 16.
Well, Sankey stands
and I can
firm on his 16 team, and that's it. And nobody else wants that. They have managed to almost ruin college football. So congratulations, all you greedy sons of you-know-what.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. But I think ESPN looks at it as we don't want any more than the 16 because they've already, sublet some of the games to Turner.
Yeah. Well,
and they may have to do that. I don't really understand that because you have the network space, I would think.
You'd hope. I mean
you have ABC, you have ABC, you have ESPN, you have ESPN2,
ESPNU.
You have ESPNU, you have SEC Network.
They drop some games on ESPN News, which I don't get ESPN News anymore.
Well, that's kind of like if something runs over, it can start there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Look, as a fan of college football, I love more games, but I want the product to be good. And I'm with you that I think the 24th team has no shot of winning the championship.
Not at all.
The 8th team probably doesn't have a shot, but they have a better shot than the 24th or the 16th.
Well, you'll make an argument like, well, Miami was out of it. They were number 11. Who says A&M was that good, right?
Yeah.
I think Miami should have been 8. A&M should have been 11.
Yeah.
So don't bring the Miami argument here because they're outside the top 8.
And look, if Vanderbilt gets in last year, I don't think they win, but who knows what they do? Maybe they win a game. I don't know. It's all about matchups.
Well, you can't do it again with James Madison and Tulane.
No.
You just can't.
No, and I know we'll start this in the 2.
Yeah.
I know you and I disagree on, I think group of 6 is basically what it is, should go do their own thing. I understand that not as many people are going to care about that as they would with the Power 4.
Right.
But I think it does no one any good. You can sit here and argue all you want that, well, if James Madison deserved to get in, they should get in. That's great. But if all they're going to do is get their butts kicked, what good does that really do?
Which they did. Yep, you're right.
So that's my thing. But we'll discuss this in hour number 3. Chasing Big Joe on a Wednesday, 102.5 The Game. Hour number 3, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Wednesday. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier back at the studio doing a great job on the ones and twos. We're at Nash Dogs in Old Hickory and have had a blast here today. We're full for now. We'll probably
for now.
Now. Is
Yeah,
the key phrase
a little
there.
bit.
But discussing expansion with the college football.
You all right over there,
Yeah,
pal?
I'm good.
Okay.
Discussing expansion with the college football playoff. The ACC has proposed or voted on 24. We've seen a lot of things for 16. I heard Corey Curtis and Jake Lyman discussing this morning, Parker Kelly as well, that looking back on it, should they have just gone to 8?
When?
Been done with it? When they went from 4 to 12?
Yeah, I mean, I was not happy with 4, but I'm old school. So
You were happy with 4.
I mean, I would have taken 4. Everybody clamored for gotta get a playoff, and just nonsense.
So would you go back to the BCS?
Hell yeah, I would.
What do
we got now? We got absolute chaos. Nobody's happy.
Yeah.
Right? At least back then it's like, all right, number 1 versus 2, that's the polls, and everybody voted on it, they'll play, and that's it. I had no problem with Auburn and Florida State in 2013. I had no problem with Tennessee and Florida State in 98. I had no problem with that.
Yeah.
But everybody, we had more money. I get the playoff. I need 8 teams to get in. And look, you know what 24 teams does? It's job security and a bonus for teams 12 through 24, 13 through 24. That's it.
Yep.
And if you tell me it's not a bonus or job security, you are blind to all this. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you on that. But I think when you look at the the NCAA tournament, you have that. You have a baseball tournament. They finally got to the point where it was they want to have some sort of tournament aspect for football, similar to the NFL. I think where they screwed up is they started with 4. And then, as soon as they had 4, everybody's like, well, you got to have more than that.
Yep.
And then they just go from 4 to 12. And then it's like, well, we're going to do 12 for a year or 2 and then go to 16 or 24 or whatever. What are you going to do? Get 36 in at some point, which is ridiculous.
I mean, think the NCAA tournament now, is it 76 or 78 teams?
76, which is stupid.
It's terrible. I mean, it is a watered-down, diluted product now that you get. And with this, you get the same thing.
Yeah.
2014? No. I mean, come on. They just found a way to screw it all up. I blame all of them. I blame Sankey. I blame all those guys who think they know what's best, and they don't. And now you got this thing with the ACC and Big 12 want 24. ESPN, you said, wants 12. They'll be in favor of 16. Big 10 and SEC are hold firm at 16. What are we doing now, right? What are we doing? What's going on here? They've done a great job of ruining what was just a pure product, man.
What's interesting, because you bring that up and you mentioned Sankey's name, because we've talked to him about this, and I would say this to his face now, like, do you not have concern about ruining, watering down the product? Now, the SEC, I will make the argument, probably has more good to elite teams than the other conferences.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yep.
Fair to say that? Sure. I mean, I know the Big Ten has been winning it, or you've had other conferences win the championship. So Big Ten won this year, last year. They won the last 3?
Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana. Yes.
Yeah. So, but I think top to bottom, we can argue that the SEC and what happens is the SEC beats up on itself, so, but I do agree. Like if you just let everybody in and give everybody a participation trophy, it is going to water it down.
It's terrible. And like, I get banged on all the time about how I like how it used to be, right? In the 80s, you had the AP and the UPI voted on it, and it was all this discussion throughout like in 1990, it was a nightmare. You had Colorado and Georgia Tech. Like, co-champions, one had a loss, one had another loss. I mean, who got it? One had a tie. I mean, but it just took us to and we argued about it. Like, we're at a playoff. Then in 92, the SEC championship started, which kind of get everything going about figuring out how to get a playoff in there. And like, oh, look at this conference championship game. It's great. But imagine with the playoff, we go. Then the BCS comes in 98. Tennessee wins the first year, and they beat Florida State. 97, you had co-winners with Nebraska and Michigan, and that was a nightmare. But it was a fun discussion that we had, and nobody hated each other, and nobody got pissed off. And now we get irate because this team deserved it. This 8 more teams here and 4 there. They've just done a fantastic job of screwing it all up. College football had many faults. The best thing it was, Chase, it was not the National Football League.
Yep.
That's what made college football perfect. Now it's the NFL, and it's awful, and it's pathetic, and I hate it.
But you still watch it.
I will, because at the core, there is a game, right?
Yeah.
It's a college football game. It's the pomp and circumstance. I don't care if you're at Vanderbilt, Tennessee, MTSU, Cumberland, North Alabama, Eastern Kentucky, Cincinnati. I don't care. It's college football. It's still a pure, at the core, a pure sport. Outside the stadium, they've managed to ruin everything that goes along with it.
But you agree, or I'm not putting words in your mouth.
Don't.
I'm asking if you agree that you watching makes them win, and that's why they keep doing what they're doing. Because you know how this works. Like it's like the NFL, the NBA, all the leagues, doesn't matter. If we quit watching and we quit caring, that's when they'll pay attention. Because they'll look at the checkbook or look at the bank account and realize, but this is affecting us. But right now, everybody, it doesn't matter. Like, we can bitch and moan about it all we want, but we still go and we still watch it.
Well, they've got massive TV deals.
Right.
Like, attendance, like I was told, like, for example, attendance at NBA games is horrible during the regular season. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. But they have these massive television contracts that teams don't care. And I don't want that to happen to college football. I want Neyland Stadium with 102,000 people on Saturday. That's what makes it so special. You can't take away the pomp and circumstance. You'll try. You're like running through the tee. You can never take that away from the fans or for any of us. I don't care if you're a fan of Tennessee or not. That's pretty badass. They run through the tee. Yep. It's pretty badass when the Clemson players run down the hill, touch the rock, and run.
They take the buses up there.
It's amazing. That is why we love college football. And it was because it wasn't the National Football League, and now it's slowly turned into the NFL, and it's getting to the point where it's like, man, do I really want to watch this? I mean, but then you go back, all right, it's college football. It's Clemson versus LSU. It's Alabama versus Auburn. You can't take that away from me. You can expand as much as you want, but I'll still watch those games, which are a lot of fun. And I don't care if it's Power 4, Group of 6, FCS, Division II, NAI, I don't care. I still love football. To me, at the core, it's still beautiful.
How would you?
God, I want to fight somebody.
How would you feel? I mean, I feel like conference championship games are on life support. Like, they're going away.
Yeah.
What if the quote-unquote expansion was, you go to 16, but they have play-in games within the conference. So 3 plays 6 or something like that, and that's how you get your remaining teams in.
Don't like it at all. Don't like playing,
because I think that could certainly be a possibility.
Well, conference games are gone. We got to know that within a year or two. They'll be out of that stuff. And you're right, because it doesn't behoove if Georgia's number 2 in the country and they're going to get in. What's the benefit of them playing in a conference championship game when their quarterback can get hurt? But again, you look at a team like, I don't know, say Kentucky needs to win the conference championship to get in. They're going to miss that game. But what are the odds of Kentucky making to the SEC championship? Very few, right? So very few. So the teams that don't need to be there outweigh the teams that do need to be there.
Who are the teams that have never played in the championship game? Vanderbilt's won.
Kentucky, Ole Miss. Ole Miss has never been there. I'm not including Texas, Oklahoma. They're too soon. But
Texas was in it last year. Right?
Yeah, I mean, that was only the first year in the league, right? So our second year, whatever. Did A&M never made it?
Yeah, I think they did.
I don't think they'd have. I don't think A&M's ever made it to Atlanta.
No, you may be right. Okay.
Because in 12,
Missouri did, like the first couple of years.
2 years. They were the SEC East rep. But it's South Carolina made it in 2010. Cam Newton beat them. That was Spurrier's team in 2010. Yeah. Florida's been a bunch. Auburn's been a bunch.
Georgia's been a bunch. Bama.
Tennessee's been quite a bit. They lost 01, 04, and 07.
Yep.
So I think it's Kentucky, Ole Miss, and Vandy. I think that's it. Even
That seems
Arkansas
right.
went in the 90s. I think Danny Ford was the coach. Mississippi State went.
Tennessee went 98 too, right?
97 and 98.
Yeah.
Tennessee beat Mississippi State in 98.
Yep.
So those are the ones that have never been to the SEC championship game.
615-737-1025. What do you think on the college football playoff expansion talk? 24 too many? We both say yes. What should it be? Clay wants to win. Clay, what you got?
Case, I have a question for you.
Okay.
How many hot dogs has Joe had today?
We have each had 2.
Okay, I was thinking maybe it would be more.
Show's not over yet, bud.
Yeah. So do you think this 24 playoff is 2014 playoff is going to happen?
I mean, probably, because there's money. I mean, they know they're going to make more money. So now if ESPN is sitting here saying we don't want to go more than 16, that certainly could influence some things. But, I think eventually.
I think 16 sounds, more reasonable. But I guess
I agree.
If they did away with the championship games, I guess there's a week where they could maybe play games, but it just seems like it would take a little bit longer, to crown a champion.
Yeah.
Hey, Clay.
Uh-huh.
Tomorrow, Krispy Kreme is unveiling creamsicle glazed donuts.
Okay.
Do I have to tell the rest? I mean,
Sounds like you want to try them.
I'll pay you if you'll drop some off for us tomorrow at the Omni.
Okay.
I will Venmo you if you bring us a dozen creamsicle donuts to the Omni tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
All
See you
right,
there.
All right. I will talk to you when we get off air today.
Thanks.
Thank you, Clay.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Clay.
the call.
Our special DoorDash driver. Thank you, Clay.
We'll take more of your calls and texts on the college football playoff coming up next, live from Nash Dogs in Old Hickory. It's Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game.
All right, guys, Big Joe here. Listen, we tell you that May is Mental Health Month, but on the Chase and Big Joe show, we talk about it every time we're on the air. Why? Because we want you guys to be here. We want you to get the help you need. If you are struggling to talk to somebody, please go to therapy. And that's why we are so honored to be partnered with UnityCares.com. UnityCares.com is the one place to go to get you back living the life you absolutely deserve. And here's the thing, too, guys. You don't have to go through any of this alone. UnityCares.com is with you every step of the way. And here's another good thing. They're based right here in Middle Tennessee, and their whole goal is to get you back on your feet and living that life you absolutely deserve. Go to the website again, UnityCares.com, and I tell you every day, it's private, it's secure, it's confidential, and they have telehealth. You don't have to tell anybody you're going. Just go. I need you to go and talk to caring professionals who love you and want you back living that life you deserve. And listen, if you're a loved one and have a loved one who is going through some things, there's acting a little bit different, sit down with them, talk to them. Maybe you can be the catalyst that gets them into therapy. I tell you all the time, therapy changed my life. Opening up and talking. Once I started talking about what I was going through, I'm telling you, this weight was off my chest, and I was so grateful. I grew closer to God. I grew closer to friends, and I was grateful for the experience. That's what I want for you. If it can change me, it can absolutely change you. That's how much we care about you guys all the time. Again, the website, and please go, UnityCares.com. It's UnityCares.com.
Chase the Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Wednesday at Nash Dogs in Old Hickory. We have really enjoyed our time here. Again, come check it out. It's right off Old Hickory Boulevard. 1427 Robinson Road is the address, but we're staring at Old Hickory Boulevard right on the main drag here in Old Hickory, serving in their Old Hickory Cafe. They do catering for corporate events, food truck bookings. Just go to nashdogs.com and you can get more information on all of that. But it's been fantastic.
It has.
To be here today.
Schefter tweeting out the first Thanksgiving Eve NFL matchup ever. The Packers and the Rams on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving on Netflix. So you're going to tell me.
Or read that again.
The first Thanksgiving Eve NFL matchup. The Packers and the Rams on Wednesday night. Packers at the Rams on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving on Netflix.
Okay.
So here's the hypocrisy of the National Football League. You tell me you care about safety. You tell me you care about concussion protocols and all that. If Green Bay and the Rams are not off on that Sunday before, you got some answering too.
They're being hypocrites?
Yes.
A little hypocritical.
So you got 2 days. You play Sunday, so the Packers got to travel on Tuesday to go to L.A. to play on Wednesday.
So what week is that? That's week 12?
Whatever Thanksgiving week is. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, week 12. Because
right?
You got Cowboys, Eagles.
Now, it's bad enough you only get 3 days to prep for Thursdays. I get all that. But now you're taking a whole extra day away from that. And guys got to rest. I mean, it's football, right? I mean, it's the National Football League. Guys beat the hell out of each other. And now you're just going to go, boom. I mean, the greed for this league is on another level.
So, and Christmas is on a Monday night this year, or on a Monday. So keep that in mind too, because you'll probably have the full slate on Christmas Eve, and then 3 games on Monday.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's fine. I mean, you're not turning around in 12 hours to play.
Yeah,
but this is something else. I mean, it's just.
Netflix has also announced they're bringing back quarterback for season 3. The quarterbacks being featured: Jaden Daniels, Joe Flacco, Baker Mayfield, and Cameron Ward.
Nice.
So will premiere July 14th. So that'll be interesting. Flacco's an interesting one since he, took over the Bengals and that whole deal. Started with the Browns. And
where's he now? They re-signed him to
Cincinnati? He's Cincinnati.
Okay.
He's going to be Burrow's backup. They have the Joe quarterback room.
They're only missing one other Joe. Rex Road. He can get there and complain about anything and everything. Oh, man.
So Netflix is also going to get the NFL honors as well. So
TNT had that?
Maybe. So Netflix's full schedule, they'll have the Melbourne game on Thursday, September 10th.
Okay.
Between the 49ers and the Rams. The Thanksgiving Eve game, Packers and Rams. Christmas Day, Week 18, Saturday, January 9th, they'll have a game, and then the NFL honors.
And no playoff game. Will they have no?
No playoff game.
Okay.
So, but they haven't said. I guess they haven't announced the Christmas games yet. So,
boy, the Rams are getting a lot of play, and the Packers obviously because it's the Packers, but still,
right.
Gotta love Green Bay's helmets; they look so good. Yeah. All right, so there you have it. More and more coming out. Thank you, Adam Schefter. Put a little bit out there and here, and figure things out.
Yeah. 615-737-1025. Kevin says, back to our 2014 playoff. A 2014 playoff is completely stupid. You will be crowning the team with the least amount of injuries as the champion instead of the best team. Hell, 12 teams is bad enough, but 24, that's just dumb.
Terrible. I mean, it's just, I'm telling you, man, 8 through 24 aren't going to win. I mean, you might knock off one team, but you're not going to do it. And now everybody's going to be happy. And then if your team goes 8-4, hey, I got the playoffs. Well, we're going to give you a 2-year extension. It reminds me when the TSSAA did one of the dumbest things ever. that every team got to go to the playoffs. So if you went 1-9, Chase McCabe, whatever team you coached, and Pie went 1-9, you got to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So in 3 years, you win 4 games, but you can say, hey, I got in the playoffs. And you're like, yeah, but everybody's in the playoffs. But I got them in the playoffs, right? I'm the coach. And they got rid of that stupid rule quickly to do that. So earn it. Now it's just like you're just handing these things. And we talked today about Alabama, Ohio State playing home and home. That would have never happened, I think, had it not been for the expansion that now you can get 1 or 2 losses and still get in. It doesn't mean as much. Back before, you lose a game in the regular season, you're done. Now they forced a Power 4 team on you before the college football playoff expanded, and that was like a lot of fun. But no, it's not going to be. It's okay. It's okay to lose now, which is just blows my mind.
Yeah, I just, I think the phrase "watered down" is absolutely perfect because that's what we're doing in everything.
Yeah,
everything is just watered down because it's
yeah.
like more and more and more. You mentioned the product, which I think is an indictment on the development of talent. Going from the high school level to, and it's because of money. I'm not saying it's coaching; it's money.
Sure.
That you get guys in the NFL that really have no business being in the NFL, but you got to fill rosters.
Yep.
And quite frankly, they should have bigger rosters, but again, you're going to water the product down more because of the amount of talent.
Yeah. And we want to everybody's big on expansion. Baseball, we got to expand. NBA, we got to expand. We got to expand. Product's terrible. I mean, the product for most of the leagues is terrible. NFL, half those teams aren't going to go to the playoffs. I know they don't get, but they don't deserve. They're not going to win 6-7 games. They're terrible. And we want to expand more teams. If you do that, you just want the money. Like an expansion team probably costs $1 billion. Yeah, the NFL gets $1 billion more dollars that goes on. The product is so watered down now, outside 8 or 10 teams, that it's almost like, all right, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And I don't know where it stops. If it does stop, who knows? But it's the greed aspect of all this just drives me insane. It's all they want is more money, more money, more money. When does it stop? When does it stop? Probably never. But the product is suffering. You could argue all day and night it's not, but I'm going to argue back it is.
615-737-1025. We'll keep you updated if any more schedule things come out before we get out of here live at Nash Dogs in Old Hickory, 102.5 The Game.
right?
Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Wednesday. That's a good song right there.
Great
Is
song.
that Billy Currington?
It is.
It's a classic.
It is a classic song.
Here at Nash Dogs in Old Hickory, Kevin in Florida says Big Joe is fired up. Give him some more hot dogs and some Miller and some Miller Genuine Draft. He looks like a genuine draft kind of guy.
There. Oh man, you're right. I just I just hate when things get messed with when they're okay. And everybody's got to make everybody happy, and get more people in there, more chances, and all that. Not that you don't have 12 games during the regular season to prove that you could be there, but it's like, oh, but maybe a couple more games do that. It's just complete nonsense, man.
What if I told you keep it at 12 and go to the BCS formula for seeding?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you live the human aspect like to gripe and moan about? I don't know. I'd be
curious of what. All right, so the final rankings last year. I wonder if ChatGPT can.
Well, you know why we yelp? Because James Madison Tulane got in.
Yeah.
All right. I'm okay for one group of 5 school to get in if it's the best group of 5 to get in. But they complain because 2 got in. Like a 10-2 Vandy was left out and Tulane was able to get in. I don't know if Tulane had the better record than James, whatever. But we all know Vanderbilt should have been in over Tulane. We all know Notre Dame should have been over. We all know this. And the fact that it didn't happen drove us all insane. That's why I liked Miami making that run of knocking off all the teams. But they're like, well, Miami was 11th last year. Maybe A&M should have been 11th. Maybe these other teams should have been up there, and they ranked Miami too low because Miami ended up beating A&M, beating Ohio State, beating Ole Miss, and getting to the national championship game versus Indiana. So they earned their way there. But they're like, wow, they're 11th seed. Tulane wasn't going to do that. And God bless the levels. Look, coaches and friends on that level, they do a fantastic job. And if you could get there and knock off a couple teams, even better. But just getting 2 in, man, we all knew it was wrong.
Well, so this is what the BCS, the simulated BCS standings would have been. Indiana, Ohio State, so you'd have the same championship game.
Right.
Georgia, Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, A&M, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Alabama, the top 10. Miami, BYU, Vandy, Texas, Utah, USC, that's 16. Michigan, Tulane, James Madison, Arizona, 20. Virginia, Navy, North Texas, Iowa, Georgia Tech.
Okay.
That would have been the 25. And so the side by side, basically you had, so the BCS would have had Notre Dame at 9, and the college football playoff committee had Alabama at 9. BCS had Bama at 10. The CFP had Miami at 10, Notre Dame at 11. Miami would have been at 11. Vanderbilt drops a spot. So it was similar, but not completely the same.
No, not. And so,
but it was completely the same where it really mattered.
Okay.
And that was like 8 and above.
Yeah, right. So I go back to the griping of AP versus UPI, and this team wins and that team wins, and people complained about it and they moaned about it, and it carried over the next year. It was just, and now it's like, hey, we all got to get in the playoffs. It's terrible. I mean, terrible. Like in '85, if Miami beats Tennessee, they win the national championship because Oklahoma knocked off Penn State in the Orange Bowl, and that would have been, we're all watching these games, and Tennessee kicks Miami's ass, and the way Oklahoma wins the national championship, and it was played out on New Year's Day, and we all loved it. It's like, well, we can make $47 million more that goes over here to do something, and let's do all this. And now it's just, who knows what's going to happen? So now I got everybody griping 12, 16, 24. Are they going to come together on something? Are they going to split? Who knows? If the SEC and Big Ten split off to their own little thing, yeah, it's dead.
Yeah.
College football is absolutely dead.
Well, because what'll happen is the big teams that matter will leave the ACC He just snuck in here.
We got a Metro Council member here. Councilman, Your Honor.
But like the teams in the 8, like Clemson,
Miami?
Florida State, Miami, maybe North Carolina and Duke, they leave the ACC and join the Super Conference. The Big 12, Kansas. Who else is in the Big 12?
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
Kansas State.
Yep.
Arizona State. Arizona.
Yep.
Where does it end? Where does it end?
Right. So you would have that would kill everything else.
It would. And that's what they're slowly turning it into. And it's just not fun. It's just not, I don't know. And I know you're old man yelling up about the old conferences. Yeah, man. Because they were fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
Nobody complained about this.
Now, the difference in you and I is the only SEC I really remember is post 92. So to me, South Carolina, Arkansas has always been in my SEC, but which I think is fine. I think, I think the championship game, that whole thing, like that wasn't broken. So, but look, if I could snap my fingers and go back to 2008, then we do it. But you can't.
It's done. It's gone. It's over. I mean, not over. I mean, those things, they're not going back into that because now they see how much money we can absolutely make. But it's headed.
It's all about the networks.
You're headed to the cliff, man. You got to stop this car somehow, some way. And I don't know if you could stop the car. I really don't.
You can't.
I don't. And so what we've done now, we spent 45 minutes talking about all that nonsense and zero on the field stuff.
Yep.
And that's what drives me crazy.
And, if we find ourselves, and we hope we do, at SEC Media Days in Tampa this year, together at cromwellmedia.com, if you want to sponsor that.
Right. Let's go.
Ask for Sean.
I'll never forget. I told you this. We had Sankey on the show. Remember the only time Sankey smiled is when you asked him what?
I forgot what question it was, but yeah, I do remember that.
You asked him about the Nashville Predators.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, he puffed his chest out."
You could tell he was just so tired of talking about.
Oh, the Preds are the SEC hockey team. I was like, "Oh, it was great." He just pumped up, and then before that, he was just like distraught. I'm like,
he did like how I asked the playoff question because apparently I worded it differently than
because he leaned in. He did the old lean in. I don't care how much money he's making. I don't want that stress in my life.
Yeah. Well, you've seen the change. Nope. Like you've seen how the stress has affected him over the year. And look, he knows what he was getting into. But I remember when he first got that job, he would do everything. And he still does. He's still very good about that. But he would do everything and, was a lot more laid back and just had the, like, hey, this is a great,
right.
Now it's politics. He's a politician.
Yeah. Oh man.
But that unfortunately comes with the territory.
Just get here August, September. Just get here.
Yeah. Well, it'll be here before you know it. We got to go through. Mount Rushmore list season first, but
and June topics.
June topics.
Oh,
but once that hits, we'll be good. You want to give some Journey tickets away?
Yeah.
Well, let me read these texts and then we'll do that.
Okay, buddy.
9055. I hate the 12-team playoff with the stupid buys. I'd prefer contracting to 8, but that's not going to happen. In my opinion, it should absolutely stop at 16. No buys, and you can keep conference championship games as it keeps the season the same length. 24 is just dumb.
Mm-hmm.
If they play more games in week 0, they should all be at night or domed because it's hot as Hades in August. I think week 0 is essentially going away.
There's a week 0 this year.
And then next year it's going to be just week 1.
Yeah. Carolina's playing somebody in Ireland.
Yeah.
And then there's another game. And where I just saw it last night. I meant to screenshot it. So, yeah, there's a very small week 0 this year.
Pegram's Finest is what about 12-team playoff, teams 11 through 14 play a wild card round for the last 2 spots.
Oh no.
I wouldn't hate that, but
no. It's a wild card team going to beat the team they played it. No, it's not. It's
9680. Joe doesn't want G6 schools to make any money. A 13 seed in basketball doesn't have a realistic shot at winning March Madness. But when they win a game, it's the best part of the tournament. Just assuming they can't win a game in college football playoff is unfair.
That's the problem. Stop comparing the NCAA basketball tournament to the college football tournament. Stop doing that. That's insanity. Stop doing that.
I agree.
I'd
But
love to
people
see.
do it.
I call MTSU football games. I'd like to see MTSU in this and win 2 or 3 games.
Yeah,
I would love the group of 6.
Your best friend's a coach in the group.
I'm an advocate for the group of 6. I want to see one team get in. I want to see them get in and make ruckus all the way through there. So, but stop comparing the tournaments. They're not the same.
All right. Pick a caller other than 5.
Jeff Eastlick's here. Jeff has 4 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Caller 4.
There you go. Caller number 4, 615-737-1025. You can win tickets before you can buy them to see Journey at Bridgestone Arena Wednesday, October 21st. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10. Caller number 4, good luck. We'll come back with what day isn't celebrity birthdays. Chasing Big Joe, 1025 The Game. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game, live here from Nash Dogs in Old Hickory. Just saw our good friend Jeff Eastlick come by.
Councilman from this area.
Yes.
Getting it done.
Have known Jeff a long time.
We have. Good dude.
So, yeah, great dude, for sure. But appreciate Nash Dogs for having us today. Again, check it out, 1427 Robinson Road. This is why, Joe and I wanted to do this noon to 3 slot so we could be out and about, be at lunch spots. Yes, we like to eat. There's no denying that. But we're also local and love Nashville. And to help a small business like this at Nash Dogs, I mean, that's certainly what we want to do. So here in Old Hickory, again, nashdogs.com is where you can find out more info on Nash Dogs.
Yes, and go to their Instagram page too, Nash Dogs. I mean, it looks better than you could possibly imagine. I mean, the food is perfect. So thank you, Michael Spansel.
Yes, for having us. With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays.
Okay, first we have National.
Hey, Dr. Crane.
Hey, guys. Good to see y'all and good to hear from you.
You just have an espresso? Gosh.
No, I didn't. I actually have my crossword puzzle with me today. But all right, continuing. National Apple Pie Day is today. National Fruit Cocktail Day. Leprechaun Day. I am wearing green, but it is what it is. International Receptionist Day is today. National Numeracy Day. Numerical numbers. Yeah, there you go. National Third Shift Workers Day. Oh, okay. Third shifts. Not bad. Root Canal Appreciation Day. Got to make sure the teeth are okay. Top Gun Day is today. World FM Day, not FM radio. Facility Manager Day is today. Is that what it is?
All right, thanks.
World Cocktail Days. We talked about fruit cocktails earlier. Tulip Day. And the last probably 3, 4 here. Cough Drop Day. Donate a day's wages to charity. Frog Jumping Day. And International Hummus Day.
Oh, nice. By the way, I'm doing a crossword puzzle too. I need a 4-letter word for jerk that starts with an N.
That's a good joke, Joe.
Oh, Nick, thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right, time for celebrity.
I thought it started with a J.
There's only 3, pal.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Celebrity birthdays. Get these within 2 years of their actual birthday. Dr. Crane, you have to go first. How old is Dennis Rodman today?
Dennis Rodman is 62.
64.
65. Chase up 1-0. Chaser, how old is announcer Sean McDonough?
Oh, we love Sean. He does a really good job.
He does.
53.
56.
64.
Damn.
Dr. Crane, how old is former NC State Wolfpack basketball player Chris Washburn?
48.
55.
61. Chaser, how old is Barry Zito, Nashville native now?
Yeah, former Sound. He is 47.
52.
48. Chase up 2-0. Dr. Crane, how old is Mike Bibby? He won a national basketball championship for Arizona in 1997. Mike Bibby.
He's a coach somewhere now, too.
For the Miami Heat a little bit, didn't he?
I don't know.
I'm just going to answer that.
That's today's his birthday. I know that.
Let's go 47.
48.
48 exactly. Chase up 4-0. Chaser, how old is the honey badger, Tyrann Mathieu?
He is 38.
34.
34 exactly. It's 4-2. Dr. Crane, how old is the wolf, Harvey Keitel, the actor?
71.
79.
87. Chaser, how old is how old is Stevie Wonder today?
77.
75.
76. That's a push. Dr. Crane, how old is Stephen Colbert?
I'm going to go 58.
61.
62. Chase up 5-2. Chaser, how old is Hootie? Darius Rucker. And please call him Hootie when you see him.
Yeah, he loves that.
He loves being called Hootie.
He acts like a blowfish when you do. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm going to fire my joke writers. He is 58.
63.
He is 60. So Chase gets it closer. He's up 6-2. Dr. Crane, how old is Lena Dunham from your favorite HBO show, Girls?
Who? All right.
Lena Dunham.
58.
48.
40. Chaser, how old is the worst Batman ever? Robert Pattinson, the vampire from Twilight.
37.
45.
40. All right, speed round. Here we go. Dr. Crane, how old is whoa, man. I don't know any of these people. How old is the bass player for Maroon 5, Mickey Madden?
49.
48.
He's 47. Chase wins 7-2. I don't know any others. These all drummers. I'm not going to waste my time to watch Dr. Crane get beat silly again. 7-2.
All right.
Well done, Chase.
Well, thank you. That is going to do it for us here today from Nash Dogs.
Yeah, great time. Check out their Instagram at Nash Dogs. Come see them. Local business doing great things. It's what the city's all about. Hey, listen, we leave our show every day to our guys out there. If you are struggling, you feel like the world's against you, man, it's not. Just having a bad day. Know there are people out there that love you, that support you. Somewhere on this planet, somebody's telling a story about you, and they're laughing because you mean so much to them. They light up when they think about you. Please know that happens every single day, and what you're going through doesn't last forever. You are strong. You are powerful. I just need you to talk. I need you to open up. Open up can save your life. Talk to us. We're here for you anytime. We want you to know how much that we love you, and please know more than anything else how much God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. DVD coming your way next on 102.5 The Game.